الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. The vast majority of Muslims don't speak Arabic, and it shows that Islam is not a religion or the religion of the Arabs. And although that is the case, that the vast majority of us don't speak Arabic, the Arabic language plays an integral part and an important role in a person understanding and practicing Islam. If he doesn't have any Arabic, he's going to have a problem worshiping Allah correctly. So with that being the case, I want to bring to your attention, many of you who are not Arabs, a new word for some of you in your vocabulary, and behind it is an important concept. And it shows the importance of getting knowledge in our religion, especially about this particular issue. And that is, we have in al-Islam, the fiqh of al-Islam, what the ulama of al-Islam called al-maqasid al-shar'iyyah. Al-maqasid al-shar'iyyah. They are the goals and the objectives that al-Islam came to achieve. And they are many. They are many. If the administration of this masjid doesn't understand and comprehend the maqasid of the sharia, there are going to be problems in this community, especially when we see the diversity in the community. Arabs, non-Arabs, men, women, old, young, people who are handicapped, and so forth and so on. If the administration of this masjid or any other masjid doesn't understand these maqasid, there are going to be some serious problems administrating this masjid. If the mother and the father don't understand the maqasid of a sharia, they're going to have problems in their marriage, and they're going to have problems with developing their children and maintaining the tarbiyah of their children, especially in this environment, especially. So this issue of the maqasid of a sharia, it has everything to do with all of the halal and all of the haram in al-Islam. And there are many, many. Some of you up until this point, when I said the goals and the objectives of the sharia, you don't have any tasawwur or any comprehension. What am I talking about? And that's okay, we're going to come to that inshallah. It just goes to show, as I mentioned, it is imperative, ikhwani, that everybody here, you try to learn as much as you can learn about this religion in the proper way. The goals and the objectives of the sharia, and they are many, many. We're just going to deal with one today, a very important one, inshallah azza wa jal. And that is, one of the goals and the objectives that this religion came to achieve is that al-Islam wants to make everything easy on every single person here without any exception. There is no exception to this rule. Every man, woman, child, every Muslim, non-Muslim, al-Islam came to make things easy on everybody here. But unfortunately, the people, they make things difficult on themselves because we don't understand this particular maqsad. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala mentioned about the Quran, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We made the Quran easy to be memorized, easy to be studied. So is there not one from amongst you who would do it? So Allah said He made it easy. He mentioned in the Quran, مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنِ لِتَشْقَى. We did not reveal this Quran on you, Ya Muhammad, so that it would make things difficult upon you. Quran wasn't revealed for that. When the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard about his companion Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhuma, he was reading the Quran and completing the recitation of the Quran in one night, every night, from the beginning to the end. And he was fasting every day without stopping. When the Prophet heard that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he put a stop to it right away, because the Quran wasn't revealed for that. It is difficult for the average person to read the Quran in 1 month, 1 juz every day. What if Allah made it wajib or mustahab for us to read all of the Quran in 1 night? It would be too difficult. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran in many ayat, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرِ. Allah wants ease for you. He doesn't want to make things difficult for you. Another ayat, He Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Allah wants to make things light for you, easy for you. Why? Because mankind, they were created weak. He's da'if. He has to sit in a chair to pray. Even the one who has good health from amongst us, he's still da'if. He only can do so much. That's the nature of Bani Adam. Allah Azza wa Jal described the Prophet in his da'wah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, dealing with the weakness of the people. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَظًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. Ya Muhammad, if you were rough and tough with these people, Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, those awliya, uqala, if you were rough and tough with them in the way you dealt with them and gave them dawah and existed with them, naturally they're going to run away from you, because people don't and they can't tolerate people who are difficult. If you are difficult in your mu'amala, there's that person we know, always complaining, just difficult to deal with. Husband, wife, child, mother, father, the boss, co-worker, difficult. The natural disposition of the human being says, I don't want to deal with this individual. It's only natural. Allahu Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He mentioned ayat upon ayat upon ayat in the Quran. Ma ja'ala Allahu alaykum fi ad-dini min harajin millata abikum Ibrahim. Allah didn't make things difficult for you in your religion. This is the religion of your father, Ibrahim. And more than that from the ayat. As from the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَحَدِّثْ وَلَا haraj. The Nabi said in his sunnah, in describing this religion, إِنَّ هَذَا الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ وَلَنْ يَشَادَّ الدِّينَ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا غَلَبَهُ. The religion of al-Islam is easy. And no one comes into this religion being rough and tough, trying to do everything, except that this religion will overcome him. So the young brother, the young person, the new Muslim comes into the religion. Allah saved them from Jahiliyyah, saved them from not knowing, saved her from a messed up life. Come into the religion and you want to do everything. You can't do it like that. You have to take your time. You have to take your time. You have to slow down. The Nabi's sunnah, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, told us, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ بِالْحَنَفِيَّةِ السَّمْحَةِ. I have been sent with the religion that is samha. It has musamaha. It forgives and it pardons. There are some people from amongst us, ikhwani, when people make mistakes in their regard, there's something that happens, there's no musamaha. Never. 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years, and they can't pardon, they can't forgive, they can't overlook. That's not our religion. The religion of al-Islam makes things easy. The imam, the khatib, if he doesn't understand this issue, he's going to make problems for the community. The Nabi told the people, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who lead the people in prayer, who make the khutbah, إِذَا صَلَّى أَحَدُكُمْ بِالنَّاسِ فَلْيُخَفِّفْ فَإِنَّ مِنْ وَرَائِهِ الْكَبِيرُ وَالسَّقِيمُ وَذُو الْحَاجَةِ. Anyone who prays, you lead the people in prayer, then shorten your prayer. Make it easy for the people. Because behind you, praying in the row, praying in the Jamaat, is the old person, old man, old woman. Can't pray long. Behind you is the one who is sick. Behind you is the one who has something to do. So I'm going to do the khutbah today, and I'm going to go from now for another hour and a half. Someone has to get back to work. So if I don't understand this goal and this objective, it's going to be problems. The other day, there was a snowstorm here. All of this ice and all of this issue. Look at the ease of Islam. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in what was collected by Imam Bukhari on the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him. He said that the Nabi in al-Madina, he combined and he prayed Salat al-Dhuhr and Salat al-Asr. 4 rak'ah. And then at Maghrib time, he prayed Maghrib and Isha combined. 3 rak'ah, 4 rak'ah. They said to Abdullah ibn Abbas, why did the Nabi do that? The Nabi that Allah said about him in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Why did he do that? Abdullah bin Abbas said, لِكَيْ لَا يُحْرِجْ أُمَّتَهُ, so that he doesn't make things difficult for his ummah. So the snow comes down, we are in the masjid, we're going to pray Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr at Dhuhr time. And you don't have to come back to the masjid at all. Stay home. That's for the people in the masjid. Islam allowed us when the rain came down, when the weather is bad weather. That's the ease of Islam. And there are just too many examples. So the question now that presents itself is, why do the people make the religion difficult for themselves? The man, he has arthritis, he has high blood pressure. In the month of Ramadan, he insists that he's going to fast. The individual is going to travel from Toronto and he's going to go all the way to Ottawa and he's going to drive. He insists on not combining his prayer or shortening his prayer. The religion is easy. It just requires people to learn and to know how to take advantage of the concessions or the rukhs that Allah Azza wa Jal has legislated in this religion, that the Prophet did, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Now just, ikhwani, many other ayat and many other ahadith, but I want to give you some practical examples that leave no doubt to the aqil, hakim, this religion is easy, Abdullah, it's easy for you. In our religion, unlike Christianity, unlike Judaism, unlike all of that other stuff, everything that we can eat and what we can't eat, it has been explained to us in our book. All of the luhum that we can eat, meats that we can eat, what we can't eat, clearly defined in detail in the religion of Islam. And in those definitions of what we can eat and what we can't eat is this lesson right here, that the religion is easy. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran, حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أحل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تستقسموا بالأزلام ذلك فسق. Haram for you to eat Ummat al-Islam. You cannot eat blood. You can't eat dead animals. You can't eat pigs. You can't eat animals that are dead. Can't eat dead carrion. You can't eat an animal that was slaughtered for other than Allah Azza wa Jal. You can't eat an animal that was strangled to death. An animal that was gored to death by another animal. One that fell off of a high place, broke his neck, his back, he died. One that drowned. You can't eat any of that. You can't eat the animal that has been slaughtered on the altar for a God other than Allah. You can't eat the animal that other wild animals ate him and he's dead. If you get him before he dies and you slaughter him, bismillah, you can eat him. The ayat went on to say, all of this is fisk, is dirty, is nasty. Every Muslim knows that. No Muslim in his right mind is going to eat khinzir. He may not pray, he may drink khamr, may eat qat, may do this, may do that, don't wear hijab. But no Muslim in his right mind is going to eat pork. If he ate pork accidentally and someone came and said, that was pork, he's going to vomit, he's going to feel sick. That's because we have an aversion to khinzir. All of that has been explained. At the end of the ayat, Allah Ta'ala mentioned, فَمِنِ الطُّرَّ فِي مَخْمَسَةٍ غَيْرِ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِلْإِثْمِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. As for the one who was forced to eat these things and he didn't eat it because he wanted to eat it and he enjoyed it, then he can eat it. Allah is Ghafur Rahim because he had to do it. Right now in Syria, the difficult situation in Syria right now, the ulama of Syria, the Sunnah, have passed a fatwa allowing the people of Syria to eat not pigs, but to eat dogs and cats and rats. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam called the mouse, he said mice were fawasiq. In the ayat he said, Dhalikum fisk. That's nasty, all of that. Allah's Nabi called mice the fawasiq. But over there, those ulama allowed the people to eat stray dogs, stray cats. Why? Because of the condition. Because of the condition. It is not okay for someone to sit here in Toronto. He hears about that. He says, what kind of ulama are those? Those are not real ulama. The person should die before he eat a dog or a cat. That's not the religion of Islam. The religion of Islam wants you to protect your life, wants you to save your life. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُم مِّنَ التَّهْلُكَةِ. Another ayah said, لَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُم إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَيْكُمْ رَحِيمًا. Don't kill yourselves with your own hands. That's the first example. Practical example. A clear indication Islam wants to make things easy. Save your life. Don't be of the people who say, I'd rather die before I eat khinzir. I'd rather die before I eat a dog. Allah wants you to live to see another day. He wants you to live to increase your salawat. He wants you to live to help the people around you, from your family and other than that. The Muslim should never want to die. Another example, more severe than the first one, more serious than the first one, is what used to happen in Jahiliyyah. In the times of Jahiliyyah, the Arabs used to make a lot of money in different ways that were haram, a lot of ways. They used to gamble. Islam came and said you can't gamble anymore. The Arabs used to sell khamr and mukhaddarat, drugs and alcohol. Al-Islam came and said, no, you can't do that anymore. The Arabs used to take a man and say, come visit me. The man would come, go to the tent, visit him. They'll tie him up and sell him into slavery. And he made money off of selling a free man into slavery. And that's from the major sins in Islam. But that was what they used to do. Make khiyana. You're my friend? Come have some lunch with me. When he comes, his sons, the people, they tie him up, sell him into slavery. 15, 20 people, they would do that to him. They used to do riba. They used to do a lot of madness. One of the ways that they used to make money, especially the people who had money, was they used to force their slave girls into prostitution, akramakumullah. The slave girl is an amma. She doesn't have anyone to protect her. She doesn't have anyone to help her. Her sayyid can do to her whatever he wants to do to her, and no one can get involved. No one. Islam came and rectified that whole situation. Islam told the people, stop doing that. It's haram. Don't do it anymore. The companions, when that command came, they immediately stopped. The people had iman. It was something they used to do, but when Islam said don't do it anymore, like khamr and everything else, they stopped. But the munafiqeen, they continued to do it. Especially the chief and the leader of the munafiqeen, his name was Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. He kept doing it. He was making the slave girls who became Muslims go out and make zina with the kuffar and bring me the money back. And those slave girls didn't like that because that goes against the religion, it goes against the fitrah, it goes against al-if, it goes against al-izzah, all of that. Allah revealed the ayat. وَلَا تُكْرِهُ فَتَيَاتِكُمْ عَلَى الْبِغَى إِنْ أَرَدْنَا التَّحَسَّنَ لِتَبْتَغُوا عَرَضَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَمَنْ يُكْرِهُهُنَّ فِإِنَّ اللَّهَ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِكْرَاهِهِنَّ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. You Muslims, don't be like this munafiq man. Don't force the slave girls to go in to make al-fahisha after it's clear that they wanted to be honorable, they wanted to be upright. They don't want to do that. Allah said, and if any of you forces them to do that zina when they didn't want it to be done, verily Allah is Ghafur Rahim. That's worse than eating khinzir. The slave girl who was compelled and she had to go and do it, Allah is Ghafur Rahim to her. Why? Because if she said to her master, I'm not doing that, he'll chop her head off, he'll kill her, and nothing could be done. But in order to protect her life, Allah allowed her to do that zina to protect her life, and to her, He's Ghafur Rahim. We're sitting in the restaurant, having a good time, easy, watching Al Jazeera. In Al Jazeera, there's a story that came on, and there was a Somali lady. I mentioned she's Somali because that's what it was. Not to put the Somali community down, so pay attention and don't go overboard. The Somali lady found herself in the refugee camp out there in Kenya. 6 children and no one to help her. No one to help her. No husband, no relatives. She's in the refugee camp. If you want to eat, you have to have some money to be able to pay the food, to get some food, get something to eat. She was compelled due to her condition to commit zina with the African Union soldiers. We're watching the program and one of the people sit there, he said, how could she do that? How could she do that? It's not for you to judge that lady. It's not for you to judge that lady. That happened with people during the time of the companions, radiyallahu anhum ajma'een. It's not for you, it's not for me to get involved and to judge people, especially when we're right here and we're sitting having coffee and we're having lahm and we're having all kind of food here in the restaurant at Badr's. It's not for you to do that. It's for you to understand the religion. It's not to say zina is okay. But when you're compelled to do something in this religion, the religion makes things easy for you. The Nabi said in an authentic hadith, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inna Allah tajawaza an ummati al-khata wal-nisyan wa mastukrihu alayhi. Allah has overlooked and He pardoned, He forgave my community for what they do as a result of a mistake. He's a traveler. Instead of praying towards the Qibla this way, he prayed that way. He's not from here. Allah forgave him. He didn't do the Qibla. He didn't know. Allah didn't tell him, do the Salat again, you're sinning. He didn't know. Someone forgot. I didn't pray Salatul Fajr. Right now, I remember I didn't pray Fajr. Just get up right now at this khutbah and pray 2 rakats. Allah doesn't hold you responsible. You forgot, you forgot. And then the third thing he said, Allah forgives and pardons and overlooks the person for doing something out of istiqra. He was compelled. He did something he normally wouldn't do, but because of the circumstances he did it, Allah is Ghafur Rahim. Zina is worse than eating khamr or eating khinzir. Worse than those two is the third example. And what's the example about? Practical examples to show everybody here from the goals and the objectives of the religion is Allah wants things easy for you. He doesn't want to make things difficult for you. Why do we make things difficult for ourselves? Worse than all of those is what happened in the beginning of Islam, where those companions used to come out in the morning in Mecca, radiyallahu anhum, and each day could have been the last day that one of them saw the sun. Walking down the street could have been the last time that they walked down the street. Leaving the house could have been the last time they were going to see their wives and their children again. And here we are again, being blessed with Islam, being born into al-Islam, being gifted al-Islam, and we just throw it away. We just act like it's just real easy, like a fly that lands on the shoulder. It's real easy. Those companions put their lives on the line. And that's what these talks are going to be all about in these next 2 or 3 days, inshallah. What is the right way? What is the way that the Prophet wanted us to follow this religion? The way that those companions were upon, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. It is important. It is important. Islam is not left to the whims, interpretation, and understanding of every Bakr, Amr, Zayd. The individual's a brand spanking new Muslim. He comes into the religion and he has fervor and he has desires and he wants to do the right thing. And he wants to make jihad. His understanding of jihad is, hey, you and me, let's just wait for some soldier, come down the street, we'll run him over with the car, and we'll take a knife and we'll stab him up, and we will give an interview to the people. Because that's his understanding. He doesn't know the maqasid of the Sharia. He's a brand new Muslim and he doesn't know, hey, slow down. Back up and slow down. What do you know about Islam? The Arab man in this masjid, he doesn't know a lot about Islam. That's not to put you down, ikhwani. It's the reality. It is the reality. The ahkam of al-Jummah today, there are many rewards set aside for the one who performs Jummah correctly. But he has to learn about those ahkam. Many people don't know except a little few things. I have to take a ghusl. Some people don't know that. The man is a brand new Muslim. He takes a bath for Friday. What's the bath? He sits in the water. He runs the water. He sits and he takes a bath. And he gets out of the water. And he thinks that's the ghusl. Because he doesn't know. The religion of al-Islam is not based upon your whims. It's based upon the blueprint that those companions left for us. Radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. In the beginning of Islam, it was tough being a Muslim. It wasn't easy. It was tough because you put your life on the line when you accepted Islam. Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, one of those people will slap you and take your life right there on the spot, as they did with a family of the companions. They took Yasir, and they took his wife Sumayya, and they took his son Ammar, tied the 3 of them up for a number of days. Not one day. They kept him there, and they were stabbing him up, cutting him up, slicing him and his wife up. They didn't leave it there. They would take salt, they would take sand, put it in the womb, touching the woman. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would walk by, and they allowed the Nabi to walk by. They allowed for him to see what was going on. They could have done the same thing to the Nabi, but they didn't. They wanted to give him adab, ta'veeb, by looking at what was happening. They knew that Allah described him in the Quran sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا أَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. It would tear his heart up to know half of the stuff that's going on in our community. Some of the stuff that people were being forced to go through by people who were close to them. It would tear his heart up. So they knew that. He would look at this family being persecuted. And what did the Nabi do for the new Muslims? What did the Nabi do for the people of jihad? For the people of establishing khilaf, and all of that's from the religion. But at his time, in its right place with ahkam, the Nabi would just say, Sabran ya ala Yasir, inna maw'idukum al-Jannah. Hey, Yasir, you, your wife, your son, be patient. Your reward is going to be Jannah. Just be patient. And he will walk away. Somebody here, some of the youngsters here, if they were in that situation, they say, I'm just going to jump in here and just deal with it. And they're going to cut your head off too. They're going to cut your head off too and go to your house and take your women and shut down Islam because of you. In the UK right now, they are not allowing imams now to say the truth about homosexuality. If you talk about al-wala wal-bara, if you talk about homosexuality, if you talk about jihad the correct way, they can put an ASPO on you. Antisocial behavior. The man is calling to hatred. He's a radical extremist. Throw him out. Take his jinsiyah. Anything. Why? The UK used to be a place where everybody can go. All of the laji'een of the dunya can go to the UK, and they protected you. Now, because of the Muslims, we have shut down Islam on ourselves. And Canada has always been one of those easy countries. Easy country compared to Germany, compared to Holland and Finland. In the Vietnam War, people who were escaping the war in America would come to Canada, and they would give them refuge. And we have people here who want to shut down Islam, either with this crazy extremism, or some of the people, instead of teaching the community the maqasid of the Sharia, we're rough and tough. He's a mubtadi, she's this, don't pray here, he's that, he's this, he's that, don't go there, don't be with the Muslims. From the maqasid of the religion is unity amongst the Muslims, unity based upon knowledge. And we're going to talk about that in these days, inshallah. Anyway, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said to them, just be patient. The kuffar, they killed the man. They killed his wife, the first shaheed in al-Islam, Sumayya, and they killed in a terrible way. I can't mention to you how they killed her because it would be inappropriate in this masjid to say where they stabbed her at. It would be inappropriate. The son watched all of that with his own eyes. Now, this is not a story, Rumpelstiltskin, Goldilocks, the seven dwarfs. This is a real incident. You imagine yourself being in that situation and people doing that to your mother, They said to the boy, hey, we're going to kill you, but we'll let you go. But if we let you go, we want you to curse Muhammad, and we'll let you go. We'll keep our word. You just curse Muhammad. So he started cursing the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Arabs of that time, the crazy Arabs of that time, they kept their word. They killed his mother, which is an act of cowardness. They killed his father just because they said La ilaha illallah. But when the man did what they asked him to do, they kept their word, which is an honorable thing. They kept their word. And that goes to show Ikhwani, during that time, the Arabs were messed up. They were messed up. And the Arabs of today are messed up without Islam. Syrians, Egyptians, messed up without Islam. African Americans, messed up without Islam. Somalis, messed up without Islam. Bani Adam is messed up without Islam. The man left, crying, mahmoom. He went to the Nabi, the Prophet saw him. He said, what's the matter? He told the Nabi the story. They killed, ultimately, they got tired, killed my mother, killed my father, and I started to curse you because they made me do it. The Nabi said, how is your heart? How is your heart? Inside, how do you feel with your iman? He said, I love Allah, I love His messenger. I believe in Allah, I believe in His messenger. He said, and adu fa'ud. If they catch you again, then curse me again. If they catch you again and tie you up, and they told you to curse me again, because it's okay. You don't really mean it. And then Allah Ta'ala revealed the ayat of the Quran that clearly indicates when you're compelled, it's okay. Man kafara billahi min ba'di imanihi illa man ukriha wa qalbuhu mutma'innun bil iman walakin man sharaha bil kufri sadra fa'alayhim ghadabun min Allahi wa lahum adhabun azim. Anyone who disbelieves in Allah after he had iman, anyone, he's going to get a grievous punishment in the hellfire. He's going to be punished. But the one who was compelled to do that, he was compelled, and his heart wasn't predisposed and open to that, then Allah Ta'ala is Ghafur Rahim. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Ikhwani, 2 minutes inshallah from your valuable precious time. because the last part of this khutbah is extremely important. Someone may be sitting there and he says, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, I always knew Islam is easy, so I'm not going to wear hijab. Islam is easy, so I'm going to go and have lunch with my co-workers who are kuffar, and I'm going to drink khamr. Islam is easy. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, be my Valentine. Islam is easy. When the lady shake my hand, I shake her hand and I hug her as well. And I kiss her. Why? Because the maqasid of the Sharia. La ya akhi. Not like that. Not like that. The ease of Islam is there. But you, in your own specific situation, especially these big issues, you have part of the responsibility to determine what to do and what not to do. You do. Not the Imam, not the sheikh, you do. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, بَلْ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا. The person knows his situation better than everybody else. But also in the equation are the ulama of the sunnah. Not anybody, just the imam in the masjid, the malvi sahib, the sahir, not anybody, someone who knows this religion. You have to go to him and you have to say, I have a mortgage and this is my situation. I need a credit card and this is my situation. This is that. I'm about to become a citizen and I have to go and I have to say certain things. If I say I'm not doing that, then they may not give me the citizenship. And the option is I have to go back to my country that is not stable. Some of those issues are simple and easy. You're being compelled. They say in the court when the judge comes in, all rise. Everybody stand up. Some Muslims say, no, this is not wala wal bara. I'm not going to stand up. Anyone who says a sayyid to a munafiq, he destroyed the religion. I'm not going to stand up. They're going to put you in jail right away. You're going to lose the case right away because you didn't understand your religion. So the point here, ikhwani, is Islam is not easy to the degree that we change the nature and the reflection and the reality of the religion. Some lady from Canada went to the UK recently to lead the people in Salat Yawm al-Jum'ah. Islam is easy to that degree. Wallahi, if the noon is sakin, and we say this all the time, the noon is sakin. If it hit her on her head, she doesn't know that's noon sakin, and she's given a khutbah. And then another lady makes the adhan and then the iqamah, and we're going to pray in the same row. Man, lady, man, lady, man, lady, 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 man, lady, lady. And they say, well, the maqasid of Islam is easy. No. Don't destroy the religion of Islam based upon our hawa, based upon our desires. May Allah Ta'ala plant our feet firmly upon this religion. May He give us thabat in these days of commotion. May Allah Ta'ala help us navigate through this commotion. May He Ta'ala guide our children, guide us, protect our families. May He make us of the ansar of the Sunnah Nabawiyah. And may He Ta'ala don't allow or cause us to check out of this dunya except that we're people of a tawheed. Aqimus salat yarhamakumullah.